just to show you how fucked up this world is, people. I just came across this. Vancouver wants justice for this girl here, 29 years old, who fell out of a window 29 stories up while her mother and brother were out in the hall, but the police were in there with this girl. If you notice, everybody's rallying around this girl. This is Vancouver. This happened in Ontario. Right? Questions surrounding death. The parents want answers. Okay, the Toronto thousands rallied to honor 29-year-old Regis, Paquet, an Indigenous black woman. So she was Native and black. So that put her up on that priority, unlike ShaMay, who is Caucasian and black, right along with Ciera, who is Caucasian and black, who fell to her death off her apartment 24th floor balcony. It happened while police were inside after the victim's mother called 911 to help her distressed daughter. What was her daughter all distressed about? So the mother called 911, cops came, they went inside. Next thing you know it, girl's out the window, and she's dead. Oh, and she gets her own page. She gets her own page. This happened like May 27th. Do you see that? And we're on May 31st, and already this girl has her own Wikipedia page. A black Canadian woman. Here they got her listed as black. Occurred in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Her mother, Claudette something Clayton, called for police assistance after a domestic conflict with request to take her daughter to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. Okay, but not Ciera. Ciera doesn't get no play now, does she? Neither does ShaMay, and ShaMay wasn't even an addict. Obviously, we're dealing with an addict here, but because she's black, and we've got this shit going on in the States with this other dude that apparently was snuffed out on fucking YouTube, right, with a false flag people to get everybody pissed off so they can terrorize the United States of America. We have to have something out here to rally the troops out here. But nothing for ShaMay and nothing for Ciera. While her mother and brother were in the hallway. Doesn't that sound familiar? Where was I? With the cops trivializing Ciera's so-called death. I was out on the porch with my son and my daughter out in the fucking rain, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares there now, do they? Of their apartment building. Police entered the 24th floor apartment after Korchinski is a Ukrainian last name, or Polish, Paquet, who went to use the bathroom. The family heard Quartet cry for help, followed by quiet, and then the officers confirming that she had fallen off the balcony. Oh, wow. Background. 5 years prior to the incident, Quartet was diagnosed with epilepsy and mental health concerns that had sometimes needed assistance from police. Okay, people, I hate life. I so fucking hate life. This happened on May 25th, May 27th, like 3 days ago. And somebody started a fundraiser, the sister or something, and they're already past $100,000 to get justice for this girl. as I've got people ridiculing me and double-guessing me over Ciera, as they accuse ShaMay of being a closet addict. Right? Nobody's paying attention to that. Now, why is it, people? Why? I mean, clearly the woman had problems. She had substance abuse issues, right? That family will get answers because the Canadian people will make sure that they do. But there will never be no answers for ShaMay. Never no answers for Ciera. No. No. Because that's too close to home. Because I'm calling it for what it is. The cops, the public union sector, aka government employees, they use public tax dollars to harvest organs from the people that are dying like flies in the 21st century that relate directly to the government and their employees. Because like I said, it was the government employees who created Ciera. At the end of the day, they're the ones who kicked her out in December of 2012. In the middle of winter, disconnected her from her family, knowing that she was vulnerable, disconnected her from her methadone, knowing that if she didn't have methadone, she would start using again, knowing that she'd be coming into contact with some shady, shifty people who would more than likely inject her so that they could pimp her out, right? You know, keep the fucking perverts in the neighborhood at bay so they don't crawl through the windows and rape the good women, right? But, you know, that doesn't matter for Ciera. There is no justice for Ciera, right? Because she was just a junkie, right? She did it to herself. I mean, you heard the minister, or that Dr. Henry Bonnie Henry, going on about, oh, well, you know, they're in denial. They don't access the services and, you know, and blah, blah, blah. As we've got global news now getting up there making their fucking fake reports with their, you know, oh, well, it's men by themselves, you know, or they're killing themselves. They're depressed, and or they just got out of rehab, and, you know, they didn't know that it was going to, or it's the coronavirus, that, you know, the dope is bad now. Dope has always been bad out here, people. 2018, we had over 1,500 people fucking die from fentanyl-related overdoses, okay? I don't know what the numbers are for 19, but you know what I've been noticing? Instead of coming right out, instead of these fucking assholes coming right out and talking about it being fentanyl, they're just now saying illicit drugs because they're trying to steer away from the reality of what's been going on. And they needed a fucking smoke screen, right? You know, they got to rally the troops around this girl. But nobody's rallying around Ciera. Ciera was in a snuff movie, people. But she wasn't black enough to get any attention. She wasn't native enough to get any attention. She wasn't a Punjabi to get any attention. I fucking hate life, man. Around 5:15 p.m., the mother called police to their 24th story apartment after a domestic conflict. The mother wanted officers to take her to someplace in an effort to de-escalate the situation so it would not become unsafe. However, per the Special Investigation Unit statement, who had responded to the call, the officer believed they were responding to the assault. The Toronto police chief repeated his statement and claimed that the call was for an assault and 3 separate people had called in, and that knives were indicated by at least 2 individuals, limiting the responding team that would be sent to assist. When police arrived at the apartment, they were met by Paquet, her mother and brother. So all three of them met the police. Regis Beals in the hallway and exchanged a few words with the officers as they walked down the hall. Shortly after, Korchinski Paquet told officers she needed to use the bathroom and was followed into the apartment by multiple officers who would not allow entry by other family members. After we got kicked out, we couldn't identify Ciera's body. We don't know if she was dead or alive, people. We can only assume that she was dead based on what they told us, but I'll never know, people. After ShaMay, anything is possible, people. The police out here in British Columbia, Canada, have already been accused, I guess you could say, of running snuff movies and kidnapping Native people out here, Native women and those type of women, right? And taking them into environments where they're snuffed out, basically, by the rich and elite out here. And then the cops just get rid of the fucking bodies, okay? That's no news. That's no new news. That's old news. Rumor was they were going up to Piggy Palace, just, weren't going in with their uniforms on. They were going in just as regular guys, doing what sick people do. And of course, it all got buried and hidden away. Some people died because they were witnesses. No, I'm sick. I'm sick of life, people. I can't stand it anymore. After a few minutes of Korchinski Paquet and the officers in the apartment together, the mother and brother reportedly heard her calling for help before silence. So obviously they went and grabbed her and did something. Or they went to grab her and she ran away and jumped off the balcony. An officer reportedly then came out and knocked on the neighbor's apartment door and told them that Korchinski Paquet was either in the neighboring unit or on the one floor below. So what are they saying? She crawled out the window and went to the next unit next door, or crawled down and went down to the next balcony, even though it sounds like she fell to death. Aftermath. Shortly after Paquet's death, her mother was recorded in a video stating that responding officers had shoved her daughter off the apartment balcony. I wouldn't be surprised, people. Look what they did to ShaMay. Only nobody's rallying for ShaMay. Nope. Even my American friends have fell off the fucking grid. Videos are being deleted or fucking put on private. Oh, stupid. So fucking stupid. I know my channel is highly censored. Right? I know people have been fucking gang stalked in relation to what happened to ShaMay. But still. Like, I can't get a lawyer, right? I can't fucking fundraise. This girl, she's not no different than Ciera. And everybody's rallying around her because she's Native and black. ShaMay was white and black. But I guess not black enough. Same thing with Ciera. Just not black enough. Or maybe just not enough Native. I know for sure if she would have been Punjabi, it would have been a fucking different outcome. But my kids weren't Punjabi, people. And that crap that's going on in the United States, that's just a false flag. That cop knew that guy. They worked together for what, 17 years as bouncers? Right? That cop has been involved in other incidences in the past where chaos broke out. They needed something to spark the frustration that's building around the coronavirus so that they could bring in fucking martial law. Right? This was it a random act and the police just capitalized off of it in terms of rallying Canadians so they can bring in martial law out here? You know, I doubt Canadians will start going around vandalizing things because Canadians are pretty fucking mellow. Like I said, they don't care about too much. The only reason they're jumping on the fucking bandwagon with this one is because of what's going on in the States. Okay? Serious. Right? I've been only going on and on about ShaMay for years now. A couple of years now, right? Nobody cares, people. This is just, they're just attaching themselves to what's going on in the fucking States here. It's not that they fucking care, because if they fucking cared, they'd open up their eyes and they'd really see what the public union sector is doing to the young people in this country that are black and native, and to the old white people, mainly old white people, right? In terms of the Uncle Johns with the money. A protest was organized by the group Not Another Black Life. I guess ShaMay wasn't black enough. That's what I'm gonna fucking title this video. I guess ShaMay wasn't black enough. I'll write it down so I don't forget right now. I guess ShaMay wasn't black enough. As for Ciera, nobody's going to care about Ciera because as far as they're concerned, she did it to herself. She should have known better. She chose to be the junkie that she was. And she wasn't black enough. Through Facebook, where thousands of people gathered to protest Paquet's death and other issues of anti-black and anti-indigenous. So you got to be black and native. Then people will care. If you're black and white, fuck it, forget it. Right? Police officers estimate the protest was attended by 3,500 people to 4,000 people at the Toronto rally, with a few hundred at a separate rally in Halifax. The rallies took place at the same time, and then there was one in Vancouver which looked like it had a fair amount of people in there as well. At the same time as rallies, protests, and riots in the United States and elsewhere in reaction to the death of George Floyd at the hands of a police officer. The Toronto Police Service Board announces that they agree that everyone wants and deserves answers, but not the Chorney family. We don't deserve answers. We don't deserve anything in fucking Canada, people. No. It's pretty damn apparent. Sitting here like a lump on the log, even if you file a fucking lawsuit, it doesn't get you anywhere. Right? Because the courthouse is corrupt unless, of course, you've got $100,000 that you can go pay for a lawyer. And you can only get that if you're black or native. Or Punjabi. Or Chinese. And that the investigation into the matter as expeditiously as possible. The head of the union representing Toronto police have stated that everyone should withhold judgment until all facts and evidence are available. Well, it's going to be he said, she said. The police said, so therefore it's correct. Right? Isn't that what they do with ShaMay? Isn't that what they do with Ciera? Why should it be any different for this chick, right? If the police said no, we tried to stop her from jumping out the fucking window and she's the one who did it to herself. She was suicidal. Obviously, you called us to the place. You didn't have to call us. It's not our fault she jumped out the fucking window. Who's to say they're lying? How is it any more different than ShaMay? I have evidence and it's still not enough people. I've put lots of fucking evidence online. I've put recordings, right? Pictures. Everybody knows that what happened to Ciera with that investigation was completely bogus. You don't see anybody rallying around Ciera though, do you? Nope. You don't see anyone rallying around ShaMay either, do you? Nope.